Hello everyone. Welcome to the third episode on Walkthrough with Bhagavad Gita by Shipra Uppal. This episode is dedicated towards presenting the third chapter, that is the Karma Yoga, and the fourth chapter, that is Jnana Karma Sannyas Yoga, in a nutshell. Let us begin with our understanding on the essence of chapter 3, that is Karma Yoga. Jai Shri Krishna. In chapter 2, Shri Krishna explained that the ultimate spiritual goal is the elimination of our desires. Shri Krishna praised self-knowledge right from the beginning in shloka number 11, 21 and 46 and criticized the karma kanda of the Vedas from shloka number 42 to 45. Thereafter, he asked Arjuna to take to karma, that is in shloka number 48. This creates a serious doubt in Arjuna's mind, and the onset of the third chapter begins with the doubt. Arjuna asked, "O Lord, you seem to confuse me by presenting the contradictory statements. Please tell me, among knowledge and karma, which is higher and which will lead me to moksha?" Shri Bhagavan answers that there are two lifestyles called Karma Yoga Nishtha, that is the social life, and second is Jnana Yoga Nishtha, which is a secluded life. Everyone has a free will to choose any one of these lifestyles. Either you be a homemaker or you be a monk. From shloka number 4 to shloka number 7, Shri Krishna condemns inaction and praises an alert and active life. Here Shri Krishna provides the technique of Karma Yoga or the yoga of action, which is the first step towards the elimination of lust or desires. From shloka number 8 to 20th, Shri Bhagwan deals with one of the most beautiful and important topics of Bhagavad Gita via Karma Yoga. He says, once we have convinced that we have to act, then we have to adopt the attitude of that Karma Yoga so that the further actions do not create any kind of a bondage with us. Now, from shloka number 10 to shloka number 14, the material and spiritual progress, how these progresses can be maintained and can be attained, these are mentioned here in from shloka number 10 to shloka number 14. The attitude of Karma Yoga comprises of 5 aspects of knowledge, or what we say intellect, Buddhi, that we need to maintain while performing any actions. First is the Samatva Buddhi. That means we need to remain calm while alert, that means mindful in all the actions. When we are doing things with mindfulness, then we are just to remain engaged in fulfilling that work without getting judgmental about the people, situation, or the work. Second is Swadharma Buddhi. Here we should conduct self-analysis to understand where our stronger desires lies, and then organize those desires in the service of the highest, supreme, or may I call the God. Third is Samarpan Buddhi. Here we should always dedicate all our actions to something and to somebody higher than us. We should remember that the entire universe is operating in a spirit of yagna. For example, the sun rises. It rises on time. It sets in time. But whatever it has, the sunshine and the glare and the warmth and the life force, it is all giving it to us as a sacrifice. It's not seeking anything in return. So whatever we own is material in nature and should be considered as for the service as a yagna for others, for the welfare of others. It is not ours. Fourth is asamka buddhi, that we should constantly assess whether we are attached to any material object, person, emotion, position, or action while performing a karma. Therefore, we should work with no expectation of the future and no burden to be carried from the past. Fifth is prasada buddhi. While we perform actions, we should not keep an eye on the result or the fruit. Just like that you are carrying a prasad to the temple every Tuesday, you are offering that prasada. So, it is something that you have taken an offering for the Lord. You are not keeping an eye on it, that how much is being given back to me. Because it was an offering. You bought it with an intention to offer. So taking a learnings from the same prasada buddhi, we should accept everything as a result of a prasada. Like we don't have a control on the people that we are being gifted as a part of our relations, as a part of our life, as a part of our co-workers, and we don't have a control on the situation. Something good things happen to us, something bad thing happen to us. Everything is already predestined. It's called prarabdha, which has already been mentioned somewhere. So once you develop the prasada buddhi, that means you are accepting the prarabdha as a prasada. So here you accept the people as they are, you accept the situations and circumstances as it is. You are not comprehending why it happened. Whatever happened, you accept, and then you move forward towards how to solve it now. So we can accept everything as a prasada. If we get attached to one of the type of a result, be it a negative or a positive result, then we start torturing ourselves because we are binding ourselves, and then it deviates us from our focus. Focus means yoga. Then it deviates us from the karma yoga, from the focus of our karma. So now we begin to the understanding of the essence of chapter 4, that is Gyan Karma Sannyas Yoga. Now the journey from the first chapter to the fourth chapter is one of the higher and higher levels for integrating or tuning our personalities. In the first chapter, we are at the level of selfish action, where we see gain or loss in everything, whatever we do. That is why Arjuna was in a Vishad Yoga. That means confusion, a state of confusion, and he was grieving the situation. Because he attained everything, the loss and the sins associated with the action. So he created a gross bondage, a deep bondage with that karma. As we move into the second and third chapter, the second chapter talks about the Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya. That means Shri Krishna started correcting him. And the third chapter, it talks about the Karma Yoga. I repeat, now we move forward into the second and third chapters. The second chapter that talks about the Sankhya Yoga, where Shri Krishna started correcting Arjuna. And the third chapter that talks about Karma Yoga. We are introduced to the notion of Nishkaam karma, that means desireless action. Shri Krishna begins the fourth chapter by referring to the above aspect of, so that, I repeat, Shri Krishna begins the fourth chapter by referring to the above aspect so that Arjuna will have a respect for the Gita. Shri Krishna points out that he initiated the lineage of parting this knowledge with Lord Surya, with Lord Sun, who further taught it to his sons, Manu and King Ishvaku. They further transferred this knowledge to their offsprings. Now, there was a time when this knowledge, it stopped. It was being attained or held somewhere, it was being forgotten. And now, after ages and civilization, yuga, after so many yugas, Shri Krishna is parting this knowledge with Arjuna as a human. So Arjuna is the first human Shri Krishna is giving this knowledge to. Listening to this, Arjuna wonders, and he was thinking that you want me to buy any argument you say. He is wondering, how come Krishna, you're of my age? And how is it possible that you have given this knowledge of ancient Vedic wisdom to Lord Surya Bhagwan, to Lord Surya Narayan, who has been there from the very onset of the universe? How do you want me to believe all this? So, to his doubt, to his question, Shri Krishna started introducing the topic of avatars from shloka number 5 to shloka number 8, where he says, Yada yada hi adharmasya glanir bhavati bharatah abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chatushrita dharma sanstha pranarthaya sambhavani yuge yuge. This is basically it is it's a group of 3 shlokas what we have just presented at one. So Shri Krishna says, Dharma Sanstha Pranarthaya, to reinstate the dharma, the righteousness, back to its place. I will keep on taking avatars. I will keep on reincarnating myself in every yuga, in every civilization, in different forms. So this is in the Krishna Avatara, he's parting this knowledge to Arjuna as the first human to be given this knowledge to, so that it can be carried on to the rest of the human race. Because in the form of an epic, it is a representation of a live guru which is walking with you, so that we don't look for somebody else's shoulder, because this will steer our path for the rest of our lives. Now in this chapter number 4, titled as Jnana Karma Sannyasi Yoga, we move one level up from desires-less action to agency-less action. Desireless action, Nishkaam Karma, where I am not creating any bondage. Agency-less action, where I am not finding a middleman, or I am not taking an onus of myself, where I am not taking any onus. As the key shloka in this chapter indicates, it is the ability to see inaction in action and action in inaction. This is the basic secret of Bhagavad Gita. Shri Krishna says, whatever you do, you need to understand the characteristics, the basic secret of that work, so that you are able to do it nicely. Even if in case we are adopting a pet and we don't understand its attitude, we do not understand its nature, then how come we are going to do justice with the upbringing of that pet? So this is the key secret that Shri Krishna wants us to understand, to develop the ability to see inaction in action and action in inaction. Shri Krishna divided action into 3 categories. One is karma, second is vikarma, and third is akarma. Action means the work or the righteousness of doing the things in a right manner as is been prescribed by the Vedas. Vikarma is the forbidden action which is not permitted by dharma, which is not permitted as a rule, which is forbidden, wrong. And third is akarma, where the person who's doing the karma doesn't think of any action, doesn't take any onus, doesn't take any credit. So this is a karma. So here, when we are doing the agency-less action, means a karma in karma, when we diminish ourselves, when we diminish our sense of doership. For example, even if in case whatever we do, like we build empires, we do, it is all for the welfare of the society that we are doing something. When we don't take the ownership, I build this empire. What we say, God has built this empire via me. I'm just a medium. It is His energy, it is His blessing, it is He has provided with all the resources, with all the money, with all the people that I was able to do this. I am just a medium. Just like a puppet is a medium, but actually the strings are being stretched by the puppeteer. So here the sense of doership is not there with the puppet. It doesn't know anything. So we are just an observer who are just observing things that are happening, but we are not taking onus of credit of the things. This is inaction in action. Inaction in action, action which is being people have seen on outside physically. I'm doing it. But in action internally at the level of my mind and spirit, I have not done anything. I have just observed that how it has happened. The God is the doer. This is where I dedicate all the results to the Ishvara, that you have done it. So this is inaction in action. Inaction has preceded, has taken the front row. And the second thing, action in inaction, where the people take the doership, they take the onus, they take the credit. Had I not been there, this would haven't been possible. So they are taking onus, they are taking credit. That means the action, the credit, the sense of doership, the karm bondage has taken the lead, and the sense of surrender, surrendering into the God, has taken a backseat. So as we progress in our life path, we begin to realize that all action happen through Maya. Maya that creates the doubt, Maya that creates the insecurities, and Maya which has been onset from Prakriti. So we realize that the concept of I, when we develop the concept of I, not in the context of I, me, myself, no, not from the concept of self-obsession. The concept of I, that means the eternal essence as a part of the divine. I am Brahma, Brahma is me. I am Shiva, Shiva is me. That means there is no sense of duality. There is no sense of ownership. There is no sense of give and take. Where if we develop the concept of I, that means the agency is gone. Everything is God. I have not done anything. I am just an observer. God has done everything. Without God wills, nothing happens. Ishwar ki marzi ke bina patta bhi nahi hilta. So the sense of doership diminishes because I understand the secret. So ultimately, everything is Ishvara, everything is a sacrifice. I am just a medium. This is a very deep and subtle mean of looking at the world. When you look at the world and the people and situation from this point of view, then there is no onus, there is no balance, there is nothing. You're just living, experiencing your journey. So Shri Krishna has just tried to give this vision to us through Bhagavad Gita so that our life and our paths can be, made simple. We should be able to restrain our senses. We should be able to control our senses. Because if we are able to control our senses, we will be able to control our mind. If we have control our mind, we will be able to control our intellect. Intellect is the one which helps us to take right decision. That means we have attained the internal purity. The sense of surrender begins from here. So Shri Krishna is talking about the end goal of yagna or a sacrifice is for the welfare of the people. That I am not the doer. I am not somebody who brought this into the world. Even Rishi Vishwamitra has never taken an onus of giving Gayatri Mantra to the world. He says, I saw it in my meditation. What I saw, I recorded, I give. I completed my duty. I am not the parent of this mantra. This mantra appears on its own. It has been given by the Brahma. Now, as in the next episode, we will move towards our next chapter. Here, we will go into more detail about the characteristics that we need to develop in order to be able to realize the very subtle instinct of Bhagavad Gita. We need not to transfer, or we need not to translate Sanskrit into Hindi. We need to qualify the vision. It is worth noted that there are many schools of thought and perspective when it comes to the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, and the information presented here in this podcast nearly scratches the surface of that topic. This podcast presents the microscopic fragment of the broader knowledge of this great epic. Connect with me to get the deeper insight on how the shlokas perfectly resonates with your current situation and how we can apply the teachings of Bhagavad Gita to transform ourselves. The very first few callers can book a free session on the critical aspect of Bhagavad Gita for the long-term success. शेयर कीजिए अपने experiences, अपनी growth मेरे साथ on Walkthrough with Bhagavad Gita by Shipra Uppal. Thank you so much.
No one's life is perfect. We are all born to experience the imperfections and sufferings. But imperfections and sufferings are all about learning, no? How would I evolve if I don't suffer? How would I enhance my understanding on life if I don't suffer? How would I educate myself if my imperfections don't bother me? Imagine a life where everything is fair. Then what's the learning? Imagine a life where I get what I want. Then where is the evolution? Why should I work hard when everything just go my way? Well, growth is a consequence of going against the gravity. And going against the gravity invites sufferings. Is there a formula of utilizing the perspective of pain to grow? Like we say, pain is inevitable but suffering is optional? Yes, there is. And the formula lies in Bhagavad Gita. Well, there are books and scriptures that talks about the pain and offers some solution too. Because every book has detail. But Bhagavad Gita has principles. And these principles can be subjectively applied in every individual life context, in every age. To me, Bhagavad Gita has been my guiding force, as what happens to us as our life experiences is inevitable, but how we respond to it is our choice. Namaskar, I am Shipra Uppal. I am an NLP coach and practitioner, a chakra healer, a voiceover artist, a leadership coach, and the founder of SARATHI Voices, Visuals and Spirituality. Apart from being an entrepreneur, I am also a soft skill trainer, an author, a researcher, a corporate event management, and a preacher of Bhagavad Gita too. At SARATHI, I conduct NLP sessions blended with spirituality and help people to connect with the supreme element and observe an upliftment in every aspect of their lives. I shall be speaking on this platform. आइए बातों बातों में सारथी के साथ भागवत गीता के आध्यात्म के सार को साझा करें on Bhagavad Gita, a walkthrough for life with Shipra Uppal.